Hello and welcome. I am the Imperishable. On today's episode, we have the Welsh Open winner, Chay. He is today going to talk to us through his games, how he found the mission pack and his list, and if there's any changes to his list depending on the mission pack. So, Chay, before we get into the Welsh Open, do you want to tell us a bit about yourself and your fantasy background?
Yeah, so I'm Chay. I started playing fantasy properly probably about 7 years ago now. Picked it up when I was just leaving uni. It's the typical thing. You collect it as a kid, don't play a lot, and then start playing
It's literally what happened with me. I did play it until after uni, and then I've played it ever since, basically. Yeah.
Played Ninth Age for a while because Eighth Ed was already pretty dead. Played a lot at Ninth Age. Did quite well in that. And then, Old World came out, and I thought, here's the chance to jump back onto the GW nipple. So.
Yeah. And it seems to have served you well. So you took Chaos today to the tournament. You took, obviously, Double Dragon, a Warpfire, and the Chaos Dragon Lords. How did your list work with the missions, and why did you take your certain list, would you say, with the mission?
So I saw the pack come out, and the first thing I saw was scoring units, was unit strength 10 and above. I went, Chaos Dragon.
That's pretty obvious, that, isn't it? It's 10 wounds.
Yeah. So I didn't have a model at the time. So my friend Jacob kindly printed one for me. I was like, please, Jacob, I want to win something before dragons get hit with a nerf bat. So I saw that, and then it was just trying to get about 4 scoring in otherwise. So I had Knights, a Marauder Bunker, and some Forsaken as well, and found a pretty good balance in the end.
Nice. Would you say the missions made a big change to like how you would play normal games, etc., rather than just to kill more?
Well, coming from ninth, it was always missions. Yeah. So I think I was sort of well practiced in playing the mission. So the first, what was the first mission?
First mission was hold the center. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, the 3 objectives and the breakthrough are all Ninth Age objectives.
Yeah.
So I'd played them a lot and knew, how to
effectively do
time playing that objective. The kill your general one, I thought, well, Chaos Dragon's pretty hard to kill.
It is quite hard to kill that.
So I thought it'll be good for that. And then the last one was the board quarters, and I thought, Chaos Dragon can get about a bit. It'll be good for that.
It would just jump into get that opponent's quarter. Easy.
Yeah, exactly. So the playing the objective was a big reason for the Chaos Dragon.
Yeah. It's a scoring unit that is 700, like nearly 700 points of your army. It's really hard to kill unless you get lucky with a killing blow kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and especially on like the mission, which is that kill the general. It's like, well, good luck, basically. It's going to be quite hard. And if he's killed that general anyway, he's probably going to win it's a big swing of points. It's 800 points or something.
Yeah. I did play Adam with his Duke for the general, so we'll talk about that later.
A proper close one, that
was a spicy one.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right then, so let's go and have a look at Chay's games and see how he did overall. So let's have a look at how Chay did. So Chay obviously won all his games. You're the only person, I believe, who actually did go 5-0. So both on win-loss draw and tournament points, you did win both ways. So you could have chosen your victory either way. So let's just have a quick overview, just as a quick recap about your army. So it's that Chaos Lord and Dragon, Enchanting Aura, Ogre Blade, 2 Favours to God, Brazen Collar. Basically, you don't want it to be Miasmic Miraged. you're always going to fight first with a dragon, ogre blade, and you have that mark of Nurgle. So it's a pretty standard, pretty strong dragon. It's hard to deal with in all cases. It's then backed up by the Sorcerer Lord of Zeech, level 4 battle magic spell from an Infernal Puppet, Ruby Ring. Once again, it's nothing, I don't want to say special, but it's a really strong piece. And with that puppet, it really makes that dragon survivable, because to get a Miasmic Mirage off, even with me as my Mortuary Cult, yes, I can get a +6 after your Brazen Collar, but I could still get that low dice roll. I could roll like a 1 and a 3 and I fail. I could roll a double 1. It really is strong. We've got 6 Chaos Knights, Mark of Khorne. They're there to hit stuff and score. 50 Marauders as your bunker, but once again, another scoring unit. 2 Chaos Warhounds, just a bit of chaff, maybe trying to outdeploy your opponent. A big unit of Forsaken. And the thing I think everyone talks about, and I was thinking about it potentially with this one day, is this Warp Fire Dragon, because it takes off wards, which is massive, versus stuff that has like Oaken Shield kind of thing, which we might have a talk about what happened in your game 4. So let's have a look at game 1 then. So game 1, as we talked about, is hold the centre. You had Andy Shaw with his Chaos Dwarves. So in this list, it's double profit on 1 on Lamassu, 1 on Bale Taurus, 1 Brick of Infernal Guard, 1 shooting Brick of Infernal Guard, Bull Centaurs, and 2 artillery pieces. So what were you afraid of? What was the rough game plan? And obviously it went well, so explain what happened.
The artillery scared me. D6 wounds on both of them. So when I deployed, I deployed behind Impassable, so that at least if he did decide to shoot either of my dragons, he'd have to scatter.
Yeah.
He decided then not to shoot my dragons because he was like, with a scatter, I won't hit them anyway. So I was like, okay.
I'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one thing that he probably shouldn't have done, he put them quite close together, which meant that I could just beeline for him, which is what I did with my Warp Fire Dragon. And
then overrun into the next one, isn't it? Basically.
Well, be there to charge it next turn. Yeah. So I managed to get rid of the artillery, I think, by turn 4. Certainly by his turn 4. And I managed to get my other Chaos Lord into a position to score, and also try and stay out the way of getting hit, and managed to just once the artillery was gone, I wasn't really scared of anything.
Yeah.
And I think I managed to drop a rock on the Lamassu, and then
is this with the Fire Dragon?
Yeah.
Love it.
So I'm trying to remember what I killed. I think he managed to keep one of them alive because there was just no way that I could catch it. So I think he kept his general alive, but I think I managed to kill everything else.
Yeah. And then it looks like he killed 274 points. So is that like your knights and some hounds?
That sounds about right, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, it has to be that. Your knights are 204. Your hounds are... Oh, no, there's 10 points somewhere. So he must have killed something maybe a bit different. But he didn't kill a lot, basically. So yours are quite tough. I'm presuming your Sorcerer Lord hopefully got like Oaken Shield or something. So that really beefs that up. And obviously with Chaos Dwarves, their Sorcerer Prophets can technically be a beat stick, but they're obviously there for their magic as well. So that Infernal Puppet just shut them down, doesn't it?
Yeah, the puppet makes such a difference, especially against these armies that go heavy into magic, because when people have invested 800 points into magic, and you just go, there's one 300 point model that
it's just
plays
you
with you.
And,
yeah.
So a nice comfortable game 1 versus Chaos Dwarves. So let's have a look at your game 2. So game 2, this was the mission, the loot one. I think personally probably the hardest mission out there, just because picking them up at the right times, and actually you can't pick them up turn 6 unless you're already on it, so it can really kind of phase you there. You were versus Troll Horde though, so you had a war boss, a weird knob, a big boss, a warboar, and a troll hag, and a goblin modnod. So quite a lot of different characters there. There looks like to be 7 levels of wizardry. Obviously a load of trolls, some chaff kind of spy riders, and then a unit of boar boys. So looking at this, I think you're probably in a nice comfortable position, a nice one to kind of deal with, because I look there, nothing's really seems a bit of a threat for your dragon. Would you say the same there?
Not really. I sort of pumped up my dragon on the right, took the objective straight off the bat, and then sorry, I keep gonna cough. And then charged into his troll hag, which held me up for ages.
That -1 to hit is big, isn't it?
Well, I think he just kept making regens as well, and it's
unbreakable, isn't it? Yeah.
So that held me up for ages, and he moved his big block into the middle. I'd managed to sort of lure him into a bit of an awkward position, and my warpfire dragon had come round the back and it'd taken off some trolls, and it was facing his back, whilst I had my Forsaken in the front. So he had to sort of pick a direction that something's going to be coming in the back. Yeah. He picked the Warpfire Dragon, which I think he was a little bit annoyed with after, because he remembered he could countercharge. But at the same time, if he was going to countercharge, I just wouldn't have charged him in the front. So
yeah.
And I just put the Forsaken in the back and be quite happy.
Yeah. With the hatred, and you could get Killing Blow and just absolutely rinse it, or even the -2 is pretty good.
So yeah, and then my knights went and picked up the objective on the left-hand side. Like I said, my Warpfire Dragon sort of came from the left and just swept round, killing trolls left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
And then turned round to come into his boar boys, and yeah, I think after that, the game was pretty much over, and it was just a case of wrapping up.
Okay, the last few kills, points here and there. But yeah, so that's the thing. With this Warfire Dragon, I know he doesn't get, he doesn't have a lot of ward saves here, but it's strength 6, it's AP -2, it's got AP -2 stomp. So that, even though the trolls do have their regen, it does go through them. Like,
yeah.
They don't get armor. You're wounding. They're only T4, aren't they? Trolls. They're strength 5, so you're wounding everything on 2s. It's a lot of dice that's just wounds on 2s, and then he's got the 5-up regen. Does yours count as magical with a Warfire Dragon? Those attacks. So does he get the double regen or not? No. So he only gets a single regen. So the big thing about Troll Lord is that double regen. So if you just nullify it, and then also I'm guessing your sorcerer would absolutely love to fire some stuff at. Blue fire.
Oh yeah, I shot off, I think, the 3 common trolls with fireballs. So.
Because they don't get a save of basically any type, and then say can just go through.
Yeah.
You've got. Did you get both? So you have your Ruby Ring. Did you get Fireball, normal Fireball in this game? If you remember?
Yeah.
So there you go. You got double Fireball. You got Blue Fire.
Zinch's Blue Fire. Yeah.
It's all fire, and it all just goes through, and it's really tough to deal with. And obviously, if he gets his wizards near you to try and dispel, okay, it means you're not going to do any magic now for the rest of the game, basically. Like looking at the odds, so it really does hurt them. So great win, and you came out this with a 19-1. So 2 opponents, and we're on to round 3. So you are up versus Adam West, our boy from Cardiff, absolute Chad. He won Best Painted with his lovely castle. Adam West was going quite well into this. I think he won both games and won quite high, just like you, because that's why you were playing. And it doesn't look great for Adam. He looks like he killed some Chaos Warhounds. So just have a look at his stats. He's got Duke with Virtual Heroism, Bedazzling Hound, Gauntlet of the Jewel, Sien's Locket. Okay, so this. He's -1 to hit. He's got Killing Blow. Obviously, big threat to big things. He's got double Prophetess, both on both on no, but one on a Royal Pegasus with Ogre Blade, so that's gone that Spectral Doppelganger. But once again, versus Infernal Puppet, good luck getting it off. Prophetess and Warhorse is obviously going to be in some knights with Battle Magic, Prayer Icons and Cornels, and obviously the Falcon Horn. A block of Men at Arms, unit of knights, 2 pens of bowmen, and Mounted Yeoman. That's obviously one of these scoring units because I think they've got reserve move potentially. And then some Pegasus knights. So obviously, the big bad on this is probably that Killing Blow. It gets that 1/6 and you don't roll that 5 up ward or it's game over. But
yeah, the Monster Slayer was a bit squeaky. So the way I deployed, I sort of refused flanked him. So I started off, put in a couple of things, and then I just put all my models on one flank. I think, yeah, I put my Warp Fire Dragon towards the middle and then everything else on the right.
Warp Fire Dragon on this one, sorry to interrupt you, is phenomenal because the whole point of Knights of Bretonia is get their 5 up ward saves. They go absolutely jack versus this Warp Fire Dragon, and you get to go first because of it, kind of thing. You can pressure him as much as you want.
Yeah. So I was a little bit nervous of that Duke. And I didn't really want to fight him with my Lord, like straight off the bat, because it was the objective that you kill the general.
It's a massive
and it would have been massive. But I pumped him up to the right, and obviously he's a Duke; he can go wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Like my dragon, so he just plopped him in front of me, and I was like, right, well now I have to either charge him or get charged. At the same time, he pumped up his Men at Arms. That I took the charge. I needed a 6 with the Forsaken. Got in. And they started chewing up.
They
nicely,
will chew.
So.
Here's a question. With that Forsaken, how wide did you go? Did you go 7 wide? Did you go to the
next
10?
I went 6 or 7 wide generally. So because
So that's what, 7d3 plus 1 each for that Furious Charge.
Yeah, hatred.
You're going to mince through kind of not chaff, but big blocks of infantry like that.
Yeah.
You'll get that fight. You'll fight first, and then get all the rerolls. You're going to chew through and potentially.
I think I wiped out nearly half the unit in the turn that I charged.
You're a horrible man. That.
So it was stinking. But yeah. So. The big thing was the Duke sitting there, and I was umming and ahhing. I was like, I could try and run my Chaos Lord away, but at the same time, I've got to take the chance. I think because going first or charging means that my dragon goes before his Duke. So I was thinking, if I don't kill him with the Ogre Blade, which is not likely because he doesn't take multi wounds.
No.
I should be able to hopefully chip him off with the Ogre Blade. And I didn't at all. I think I did, like, with the pair of them, one or maybe 2 wounds.
So you're shitting yourself right now.
I'm sweating big time. So he rolls his 5 dice or whatever, and he rolls, like, all misses. I was like... I was Nurgle, of course. So
you forcing those rerolls.
It would have been 4s and then re-rolling 6s to hit, and he rolled like all 1s and 3s. I was just so happy. And then I stomped him and got him down to 1 wound remaining, and he ran away through his Men at Arms, and I chipped the last wound off with a Pillar of Fire.
Oh, you horrible man. You didn't even do it honourably. You just hit him.
I tried to run him down, but my dragon thought, oh no, I've had enough of him.
I'm not risking that again, yeah. Oh.
So, and then sort of from there, it just...
There's no proper threat to your dragon, really, at that point, is there?
No, my Warp Fire Dragon took off his Mounted Knights, I think.
Well, you're wounding on 2s. He gets a 5 up save, and that's it. He doesn't get his rewards.
I shoot off the Peg Knights, and it was just a big win to me in the end. I think I'm trying to remember what he did save at the end.
I'm trying to look at points.
I might not have got the knights actually. No, that's yeah. I just threw dogs that way to distract that block of knights, and then everything. I
Which
just
they
picked
did
up
get.
everything else.
They got those 30
Yeah,
points. Oof.
and I think he turned round and just ran them away.
Yeah.
So something ended up in the corner. I think it might have been.
Yeah. Well, no, it's really strong. As I say, that killing blow, like I've done the odds on it because I've obviously got my Tomb Scorpions, and to get it, it's really actually quite hard. Yes.
Yeah.
They only have that 5 at ward, and if it does, like for me, it's a 75-point model. Like for him, it's a 391.1, and he had a chance to get it. Like you lose that dragon, this game maybe flips on its head here.
Yeah,
because it's like okay,
it's a 10-point swing, well 9-point swing or whatever. So
yeah, it's probably a 6-point swing because he'll get 600 points from it, and then he'll get the 3 extra tournament points because at that point he can just run away as Duke, just so you can't kill it.
Yeah.
Because he's got the movement for that, and or pick his battles or what.
Or that's it. He just instead of me taking him off, he just takes me off.
Yeah.
With his stuff. So.
But he forced
that one was a bit of luck.
Yeah. Well, you say luck. It is. I just think the odds of relying on a killing blow just isn't there. As I say, I know when we played, my Tomb Scorpion did get it versus your Warfire Dragon, but I wasn't thinking I'm doing this to get a killing blow. It's an addition if it happens. I just want to get a flank and a couple of attacks.
Risk management, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you take the risk, and if it happens, it happens. So
yeah, but no, nice. So great after day one. Day one, yeah, you're top, I believe, with only a few points dropped overall. Yeah, you're currently on 57, going to game 4. So game 4, you had Jack Ward. So I played him game 5. I had it on get in the middle. You had table courses for this one.
Yeah.
So Jack's list, and I love this list, and I think it's really quite cool how he's done this. He's got Chaos Horn Dragon, bare bones, but he's got one. It's a scorer. He can do what he wants. It's still a tough beast to hit, kind of hurt, because you can pump it up with Gifts of the Gods. He's got his stumps. It's still a dragon. It's still 10 wounds. He's got double Sorcerer Lord. 1 level 4, 1 level 3. Both with Spell Familiar. 1 with a puppet. Obviously, it's the same as you. Chaos Warhound's Vanguard. A 16-man block here, which obviously he puts both the Sorcerer Lords in there, and it's just this movable bunker that can really dish out damage because they get the +1. 2 Marauder Cav. 2 single Dragon Ogres and 2 gigantic spawns of Nurgles to make those really tough there. I say I really like this, and when we played, I was a bit kind of maybe Chay's wrong target, but having these 3 big creatures coming at you, obviously you had your own big creature which was better than all of his, but it's a big thing. But how did it go? How did you get a 19-1 versus Jack?
So I started off playing quite badly, to be honest. So I took the chance at a long bomb charge with my lord into one of his spawn. Didn't get it, and started moving around my other scoring units into position. But I intended to put my Warpfire Dragon so that I was covering my Forsaken, but I was still asleep and didn't. So he just charged with his Chaos Lord into them, and I was like, oh, Christ, Chay, you cocked that one up. But then I managed to get both my dragons into one of his spawn, because it couldn't move anywhere. It was trapped against impassable. I overran my Warpfire Dragon into his bunker, and then failed my restraint test, or like overrun. Yeah, it is a restraint test with my Chaos Lord. So he flew over the impassable, and then failed to do the reform afterwards as well. So he was just stuck looking at the other corner. So I was like, oh, for God's sake. If he'd passed either of those, he could have turned around and helped out my Forsaken.
Yeah.
And that that was a bit awkward. So my knights got friends baited on the left. I didn't do that well. I deployed 6 wide instead of 5 wide because I should have deployed 5 wide so that when he challenged with the shot axe, I could go,
send one back. Yeah.
But I didn't, and he challenged, and one shot attack killed all my knights.
Jesus,
so,
really?
Yeah. So I lost that flank and didn't take off his scoring. I was trying to shoot off his scoring with my fireballs.
Yeah.
Wasn't really doing that well on that. So he was actually winning
the magic,
the objective, until I managed to take off his bunker. Then I managed to kill everything else, and we were just left with our dragons as scoring pieces because he managed to take off my marauders. I'd run out my sorcerer lord. But the big thing there was his remaining chaos spawn and his dragon were staring down my marauders, and I think he must have failed his internal impetuous check because he charged with the dragon.
Yeah.
And it just gave me a chance to get my dragon into his dragon.
Yeah.
Rather than, sending it off the other way. And just, that was a massive, massive thing because it meant that I then took off his dragon at the end of turn 4, I think.
Oh, so he's got no scoring.
So he's got no scoring. So from being 1 behind in the scoring, I then end up winning the scoring.
Wow, and that would
winning the objective.
Yeah,
so and then I also killed his general. So he worked it out at the end, and it would have been a 10-10 if I hadn't got his dragon. So I had a bit of I managed to capitalize on an opponent mistake then.
Yeah.
But, sometimes that's just what you got to do, isn't it?
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's just
take a bit of luck.
Because if he just kept running that dragon away, he wouldn't have given you 580 points. As you said, would he have won the mission at that point, do you think?
Yeah. I couldn't overtake him.
Because you both have a single guy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
my warpfire dragon did really well. It went into his bunker. I managed to win with my stomps, thankfully. He rolled a 10 on the leadership check or whatever, and I ran him down.
Oh.
So,
yeah. But that's the thing. This is what I'm saying with that Warpfire Dragon versus that block. He only gets a 6-up save versus all your attacks.
That's it.
Because even if he gets Oaken Shield, and he gets it off.
Which he did have.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter because you get rid of the ward.
Didn't do anything.
It's really strong there. I'd say people seeing getting Death Stars and whatnot, just take off a ward save, take off one of their saves. Kind of thing, especially these infantry ones. They're not the highest armor save kind of thing, but it's just that. That's just great. So, a mistake by an opponent, but you capitalised fully. You absolutely smashed it. You got the mission as well. So you're on to the final game. I think we all kind of knew what was going to happen, whoever's going to play in the final game. You were up versus Mark with his terror bombing, scream list, basically. So this has been a really good list, Mark. He plays it really well. He knows what he's doing. He's got double Mortis Engine Necromancer, both level 4, both with Necromancy. One was Spell Familiar and a Talisman Protection, so you get that triple save. One only has a double save. But there's 9 spells there, basically. 2 Banshees for those cheap screams. A big unit of Crit Ghouls, gotta just hold the thing. 2 units of Zombies, which you can res up to, I believe, up to 40. And then a unit of Spirit Host, which isn't great versus Chaos because you've all got magic attacks. And then 2 Terrorgeist. This was very scary. It was very much, if you can maybe get certain spells, you can make your wizard at your Chaos Sword at -6 leadership. And you don't get to reroll any of this. So if you roll that big 12, that's 9 wounds he's lost, kind of potentially lost. So, how did you do it versus the Scream list?
I was sweating. Big time. I looked at the list over lunch. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this? And I deployed very conservatively I sort of started off deploying my non-drops, like my dogs in the middle,
Yep.
and just watched him plonk down, and then I just put all my valuable stuff in the corner. And that sort of meant that he had to come across and couldn't get all his screams to bear like straight away. His turn 2, though, he was able to get 2 screams into my warp fire dragon, took it off. I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those.
Oh, really? I didn't realise it happened that quick with the warp fire.
Yeah.
That would terrify you, wouldn't it? Be like, well, great, that's one gone. Here comes the next.
Yeah, but I forgot to mention, when Key started the game, he failed to roll Spirit Leech on either of his Necromancers. So he didn't get the -2 debuff, but he did have the Vortex.
Vortexes,
But Infernal Puppet helped me a bit with that.
So much harder for him to get him off.
Yeah, so he was only getting... He got 2 off the first turn and then 1 off the second turn, something like that. But yeah, because of the way he positioned, then he couldn't reserve move his one of his Mortis engines out the way. So I was able to charge in with my Chaos Lord. I fluffed, didn't take him off, but I did follow up. So I was stuck there, and I just thought, this is the end. He circles all of his things around,
screams,
6 screams at him. I had just managed to rally and cry the turn before my Sorcerer Lord. So I managed to dispel his Vortex, and then he didn't get it off that turn. So I didn't have to worry about that. So it was just on my leadership 7. And then I proceeded to make 5 of those. On the 6th one was a fail on an 8. So I took 1 wound. And
that is good.
All his stuff was just, 8 inches around my Chaos Lord. I kill off his Mortis engine, turn round, charge his general, kill his general, and then everything just started crumbling then. And it was just an easy wrap up from there. But yeah, a bit of a sweaty one. Except once again, you have to play what's in front of you, and
it's just that, isn't it?
Like that is the only way I could have won the game, and I just had a bit of luck. So yeah,
as you said in our group chat, tips from you is just wear your lucky pants.
Chaos Dragon and your lucky pants.
Yeah.
So
absolutely amazing run of games. You've played some very hard opponents here. You played some worrying parts in games, such as the Killing Blow Dragon, the Scream list, etc. But you smashed it. You came out on top. So if we have a look at the rankings, you cleared it by 9 points, and even with a 5-point deduction for not being painted, you still won. And as you say,
it was only 6 models that I didn't have time to paint.
Shocking. So the thing I did want to have a talk about before we wrap up is, in this mission pack, Chaos Dragon scored, and that was a big thing. As you said, you saw that. That's why you took a Chaos Dragon and not kind of your normal. Your normal one you seem to have run was a Demon Prince and a level 4. Get as much magic missile spells as possible. Be a bit more maneuverable. So my question is, because I'm looking at like Black County as my next big one, where they've even said in their mission pack, a dragon basically can't score. How does that affect this list? Would you still take the Chaos Lord, or would you try and mix up and get some more scoring in? Maybe go Lord on horse, maybe?
I think that if the Lord wasn't scoring, I would have struggled a lot more. Excuse me. And I would have needed something that could have held its own a bit more. The only unit there that could fight and maybe hold a bit was the Forsaken. The Chaos Knights are a glass cannon, really. So I would have had to look at that. Maybe something like, I don't know, Dragon Augurs. But you I think the Chaos Lord's the linchpin for this list under this pack. So you take that out and you got to start fresh. So
Yeah, because as I say, I was looking at Chaos potentially for this Black County, and I was kind of jumping on from Jack's list where he went for that more magic route and just try and magic missile. But maybe, as you say, because it's not scoring, it semi can break the list apart, because obviously you've got a tough, really hard to kill model that is potentially going to win you your mission. As you said, it won you your mission in versus Jack and the table quarters because it was alive still.
Yeah.
You said you picked up one of the loots game 2. You got into a position to hold the middle game 1.
Oh yeah, and in the last game, turn 5, he was fighting the ghouls in my own deployment. Gave ground. I elected to turn around and run into the other deployment. He failed his leadership test and loses scoring. I win objective there. So,
that's massive, that, yeah, because that's what I had. So I'd say I played Jack Wards, your game 4, game 5, and he got his brick in, and I needed to kill 2 more, but he got his dragon in, and I got him down 4 wounds, but I'm annoyed. I should maybe try and get rid of his dragon earlier, to get rid of that scoring beast, but this dragon, I was just like, got in, and I was like, I can't, it's a scoring unit, and now he's got this in my front field, so that was a pain, but because it was that Chaos Lord.
I think the thing is, the dragon is, like, the Dragon Lord is so good that if it wasn't scoring, maybe the Warp Fire Dragon would have to miss out and take 4 Dragon Ogres instead.
Or another unit of Forsaken, maybe. They're quite sharp.
That's it. So something's got to give. I love the Warp Fire Dragon.
It's amazing.
I think, everyone goes, the great Chaos Spawner, more cost efficient, etc. But they don't give you as much. They don't give you the maneuverability. They don't give you the ward taken away.
That ward taken away is massive versus some armies.
If you put him into a unit with magical attacks as well, that you might have a 5-up, 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 or whatever.
Triple save versus stuff that's meant to be
good.
And
like it's really survivable. It's really quick. It fights well, and it took off at least 1 Chaos Spawn. So I think, 1.5, I'll say.
With that Chaos Spawn thing, a big issue with Chaos Spawn is, yes, it's random movement. It's great. You can go up to 18 inches. Like Jack, I think he's got some good rolls, kind of above average. But you could roll 111 all game.
Yeah.
You got 18 inches all game. You haven't hit anything.
Yeah.
And then,
this is it. Yeah.
And if you're relying on that pressure with these 2 things, and they both roll bad at that first turn, as somebody who plays a shooting army, so Jack rolled really high, and he got very close to me, so I had to try and deal with them. But if they weren't in a position where they could potentially hit me next turn, I would have tried and shot somebody else. I would have shot his dragon or try to get down his bunker. But it's that swings around about. If, let's say, you roll 111 for both of them when we played, obviously the odds aren't there, but he might not have gone very far.
Yeah. Like that's it. You roll 1 short of getting one of them into my Forsaken with his dragon, and I was able to hold on and go stubborn and keep his dragon pinned essentially for a couple of turns. So, if I was a Warp Fire Dragon, he would have been in.
And if it was a Warp Fire Dragon, your Forsaken just die, because you get no save of any type. You wound them all on a 2. That unit is destroyed.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah. So. Okay, Chay. So we've had a look at your list. We've seen how well you've played. You absolutely smashed it at the tournament. Is there anything else you would like to say? Anything you're looking at doing? Any projects potentially, or any other big tournaments you're thinking about going to?
It's always a question of time, isn't it? To be honest, as you have to start adulting.
Can't.
Not playing toy soldiers. So.
It's a shame, isn't it?
Yeah. So nothing on the cards at the moment, but I know Ollie said he'd try and run another one in 6 months' time. If I can get away to a tournament, I'd enjoy that. But it's all dependent on real life, I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping Ollie does another Welsh Open in that summertime. I think it'd be really good. Obviously, by then we get a few more Arcane journals, and we'll see it there. But I'd say it was great to have you on, Chay, and well done on winning and showing that Chaos is really, really strong when a dragon can score and you wear your lucky pants.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Ta-ra!